Hi, my name is David, and I'm going to walk you through how I solved the CSWA practice problem 7.3. Alright, so for this example, we're going to look at the origin here, which is at the center of one of these circles. And first we're going to draw this circle here in the top plane. This circle will be basically a cutout, and then we're going to fill in that cutout with a cup. But first we're going to draw the cutouts, so we're going to draw this circle, then use a linear pattern in this direction and this direction to create the rest of the circles, then create a bounding rectangle. Now we're not sure what the dimensions of that rectangle are, but we will be able to determine the spacing of that rectangle from each of these circles. We'll get to that in just a moment. So let's start by drawing the circles though. One thing before we get there, the circles are going to have a diameter of 78 because from here to here is where the cup starts and ends, and that has a diameter of 78. So our circle here, the big circles, are going to have a diameter of 78, and then we'll be drawing the cups in between. Alright, let's go ahead and get started. We'll start with our top plane, create a circle with a diameter of 78. There we go. We'll go ahead and select the circle, do a linear sketch pattern, and in the x direction we only want 2 of them that are 86 apart. In the y direction we want 4 of them, so we want 4 of them in the y direction going down, 86 apart. We want to dimension the y spacing to make sure that everything is locked into place, and also dimension that angle between the axes. So originally I had this not checked off, and it wasn't fully defined, but if you check dimension angle between axes, that makes sure that this is a 90-degree angle. Alright, so we can hit enter, and there we go. We've got our circle cutouts. So now we can draw a bounding rectangle. Again, we don't have the dimensions of the bounding rectangle, but we will be able to figure out this distance between the circle and the edges here. So let's talk about that for a little bit. So this distance right here between the circle and the edge, we can see in this picture. Now at first glance it looks like the distance from the outer part of the circle to the edge, it looks like it's 8, but if you look really carefully, 8 only goes to the center of these fillets. So we actually have to go a little bit farther, a distance of 1, which is the radius of these fillets, out to get to this edge right here. So it actually is from here all the way to the outside is a distance of 9. So this is 9 from here to here, 9 from here to here, and then we'll also add 9 and 9 for these dimensions here. Okay, so remember when you're adding a dimension to the edge of a circle, you have to hold down Shift and then click. So that's going to be 9. So I'll go into dimensioning, click on this line, Shift click, and you got to hold down the Shift, otherwise, oh, actually I did, I guess you don't, never mind. Okay, so we got 9 here. So click, Shift click, 9. Okay, I feel like it didn't quite get the right place on that one. Let me try that one again. Okay. Click, Shift click. Okay, yeah, no, it should get that right. Okay, and 9, and then click, Shift click, and 9. All right, so that's looking pretty good. We'll go ahead and extrude. I have Control E set for my extrusion shortcut. And we'll want to go in the opposite direction. Let's check to see how much we're going to be extruding. It looks like the thickness here is 3 all the way around, so this thickness will also be 3 along with everything else. So 3 it is. And we can go ahead and hit enter, and there's our first basic shape with all the cutouts. Let's go ahead and fillet these edges right here. So we'll hit S, fillet, and it looks like that's going to be 10 for each of these. Let me zoom in so I can actually select these edges well. this one, and this one with X-ray vision, and then this guy right here. Okay, so we got those corners filleted, and we might as well try filleting these loops on the top and the bottom as well, because those loops have fillets with radius 1, so on the top and the bottom loop. Go ahead and do that. So fillet 1, oops, 1, 1. Took a few times. Okay, so we're going to click on this. It automatically does the propagation all the way around, and then we'll select on this bottom one here and hit enter. Okay, great. So we got the fillets working. Now let's go ahead and create the cups. So the strategy I'm going to use here is to create, when you look at this, it looks like the dimensions are mostly on the outside. So we've got this outside diameter of 12, so the radius of this curve, this arc right here, is 6. And then the radius of this arc right here is 3. So if we start drawing the outer curve, then we can use offset entities to create the inner one, and it can automatically cap it off as well. But I'm actually only going to draw half of this, so I'm going to draw from here, I'm going to draw this shape right here. Okay, and then offset entities, and we'll go from there. Okay, now by symmetry, it doesn't really matter exactly where I draw the profile, so I think I'm going to just use the front plane. All right, front plane, and let's start drawing half of that profile for the cup. So we'll enter, so actually, let me draw a center line first from here, and it looks like it's going to be going all the way down to 58. We'll go ahead and dimension that. Let me show you where that's coming from. So the 58 is going from the top here, which is where the origin's at, all the way to the bottom, which is right along the like line or curve that we're going to be drawing. So we can draw right out of that and then along here. Okay, so we'll switch to the line tool, go in a little ways, draw the arc by going out and back in. Now we don't want it to be necessarily perpendicular, so I'm just going to draw like here. I'll draw the tangent in a little bit later, and then go up a little ways, out and in to create an arc. And we'll put the arc somewhere around here. Okay, so let's, before we forget, make this tangent, and we'll go ahead and make this one tangent with, this, I select the actual arc, this arc tangent with this line. So you can shift click to select them both, and then click tangent. Okay, so we've got a radius here of, looks like 6. That's half of the 12 diameter. And then for this one, oops, for this one we've got a radius of, what is it here? 3. Okay. And then another thing that we've got to put in here is the angle between this line and this line here, the center line, which is going to be half of that 18-degree angle that you see there. So 18 divided by 2, so that's going to be 9. And that'll give us that angle. It kind of it shrank down over to there. So this is the angle that I'm talking about here. It's 18 all the way across from this side to this side, but if you are going from the center line, then it's only going to be half of that angle. All right, so one more thing that we have to do is figure out where this point is relative to this side, and it should be a distance of 9 like we analyzed earlier. So from here all the way to this edge is 9. Let's go ahead and put that one in. So from this point to this edge here should be 9. Okay, so far so good. We're fully defined for that arc. Now let's go ahead and take that arc, and we can actually right click and select the chain, so that way this whole thing is selected. Then go to Offset Entities, and we want to have a thickness of 3 like we mentioned before. This is going in the correct direction, and we want to, if you didn't have this selected already, we want to cap the ends with lines. There we go. Okay, that's looking pretty good. So now what we can do is rotate this guy about the center line. So hit S. If you don't have the Revolve Boss Base already in here in the S shortcut, that's a good thing to do. And you can see this nice cup is being made. So hit Enter. Okay, so now what we want to do is copy that cup in a linear pattern to the rest of these holes. So we can select the revolve, use a linear pattern, and then we can go along this direction for, these are 86 apart, going the opposite way, so let's make this the correct direction. And then for the other direction, we want to go along this line. Again, 86, and once again we're going in the wrong direction, so there we go. Okay, now we can hit Enter, and we've got all of our cups. And it looks like we're good to go. Let's see what our mass is. 398,448. 398,448. 398,448 cubic millimeters. Great. Well, I hope this video was helpful. For more CSWA practice problem solutions, you can check out a channel called Design with Roozbe. Take care and keep studying.